TFA fam, welcome back in. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit of wide receiver sleepers, some guys that you would typically, your flex options, guys you are definitely sleeping on. So we're going to do that right now. And again, these guys, we're shooting for lots of ceiling, no floor. I don't care about floor in this spot. We're looking for a straight ceiling, guys that can win you your week. We are in the fantasy playoffs. There is no next week for you. So we are here to take this home. Let's just kick things off. Cody, I'm going to start with you. Who are some sleepers you are all about this week?
For the brand, baby. Finally, he is coming through. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Over the past 2 weeks, 24 targets, 18 catches, 159 yards, and a tutty. Going up against Arizona, it's not a great matchup, but obviously game script is going to be in their favor. Something we also have to, you're talking about shooting for the moon, the ceiling plays. With the past 2 weeks, no Hawkinson, no Swift. As of today on Wednesday, neither of them are practicing. We don't generally put a lot of emphasis on the Wednesday practice reports, especially for guys like Swift and Hawkinson who aren't going to need a lot of practice time. But especially for Swift, we have to remember that he has not been playing for a while either. So if he doesn't at least get in a limited showing tomorrow, Hawkinson dealing with a hand injury, so that's not the biggest deal for him. But even if just one of those guys are out, that can help open up things here for ARSB. So I like him, especially in full PPR leagues. He's averaging almost 20 points per game over the past 2 weeks because of that, with having back-to-back 12 target performances. The second one I have here is Gabe Davis. And although Manny Sanders hasn't officially been ruled out yet, head coach McDermott has already come out and said he's unlikely to play, that he's not expecting him to play this week. And last week, Davis saw a season-high 83% snap share, along with a season-high 8 targets as well. He's 13th this year in yards per catch, despite ranking 42nd in average depth of target, which is not the way that he was used last year. So maybe with Manny being out, that'll open things up for him, a little bit more downfield. And the yards per reception isn't fluky either. He was quietly 8th in that category last year, and as a rookie. And then just one down here that I just want to mention, like if you're in a deep league, this definitely isn't in contention with 12-team leagues. I'm talking 14, 16 teams, or if you just have a crazy starting requirement in your 12-team leagues. But Demetric Felton, the Browns are one of these teams that are just absolutely ravaged by COVID. Kareem Hunt, also unlikely to play because of his ankle injury. We know Jarvis is on there. Baker is on the COVID list now as well. It seems like their entire offensive line is either on IR or on COVID. With Felton, the rookie out of UCLA, he also spent time in college as a running back and a wide receiver. He hasn't really gotten a lot of looks this year, but I think with all the injuries they have, the snaps that Felton has got have been in the backfield, in the slot, and out wide. So they can really use him as a versatile piece, and especially with as many players as they could potentially be missing, he might see some extra run in this game. Like I said, this is for deeper leagues only, but a name that's definitely worth paying attention to if you need to reach down this far. Kev, who you got?
Yeah, before I get to that, be sure to, if any of this content is helping you out, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for future content. Really appreciate everybody checking it out. We're out here trying to win championships for y'all. That's what we're here for. And also, be sure to come rock it with us Friday night. Every Friday night, we go live. We answer all your start sit questions, but we do not stop until the questions stop. And sometimes we've gone until 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. We don't care because we're here for you guys. So with that being said, be sure to hit that like, subscribe button. We hope to see you guys on Friday night. I'm going to kick things off, and there's a little bit of risk here, but the first one I'm going to kick is a little bit more safer, especially with the DeAndre Hopkins news, and that's A.J. Green. 73% snap share last week against the Rams, 7 receptions for 102 yards on 10 targets, and that was with DeAndre Hopkins playing, but now we have DeAndre Hopkins out. This is a matchup against the Lions. The Lions' pass defense is absolutely terrible. The only concern you possibly could have is that maybe they just don't really need to throw the ball that much, and they just really just pound the rock with James Conner, but they're going to have to throw the ball some, and so I do like A.J. Green on the outside here. He is somebody that's been a pretty reliable source of fantasy output this year. I mean, he's not, somebody that's going to drop some monster performance, but he is a pretty solid, production of, 12, 15 fantasy points, and in the flex, we'll definitely take that all day. And so I do like him. You talked about the Browns. One guy that has seemed to miss the bullet here is Donovan Peoples Jones. And last week, he played a 90% snap share in that game, 7 targets, 5 receptions for 90 yards last week. And this week, really, I mean, it's a pretty solid matchup against the Raiders. We've seen some ceiling out of him. We've seen on the season, he has a 12, 26, 16, and 14 fantasy points performances. Jarvis Landry sounds like he's going to be out, but Donovan Peoples-Jones is explosive. He's definitely the deep threat, and there's nobody else for them to throw the ball to here in this game. I mean, it's really going to be rough sledding out there for this offense. I do like Donovan Peoples-Jones, and so I think he's definitely a solid flex option. And then last but not least, I hate myself for this. Allen Robinson. I can't quit you, Allen. I don't know why. I want to quit you, but I can't. But this is an absolute smash spot for Allen Robinson on Monday Night Football. Last week, he did play 84% of the snaps. He came back without an injury. He did see 6 targets in that game. But Minnesota has been absolutely dreadful against wide receivers. Dreadful. They do not have a corner that worries me one bit. Rashad Breeland, 64% completion percentage, 109.0 passer rating, 778 receiving yards, and 7 touchdowns. For reference, Rashad Breeland, if you take 2020 and 19 and combine how much he's allowed that less than that in those 2 years compared to what he's allowed this year. He's been fucking terrible. And then Mackenzie Alexander, 60% completion percentage, 110.1 passer rating. Patrick Peterson hasn't been any better either. Allen Robinson is in a great spot here. Now, can we trust Allen Robinson? Listen, I get it. If you don't have the heart to play Allen Robinson, I understand. But this is an absolute electric spot for Allen Robinson. Also for Darnell Mooney. So if you own Darnell Mooney, you're jumping up and down. You're excited. Justin Fields looks like he keeps getting better. But as far as Allen Robinson is concerned, I'm actually playing him in my home league. Okay, so I'm right there with you. Okay, I'm right there with you. But I digress. I get it. Allen Robinson's a very, very risky play. He has been terrible this year. Some of you may even said that maybe he's checked out. But this is a great spot for Allen Robinson. It's a great matchup for Allen Robinson. So maybe a little late night hammer for Allen Robinson. Maybe he can find the end zone. If you're desperate, I don't mind playing Allen Robinson. I do say just a couple other ones, just like some quick hitters. I do think Allen Lazard and Marquez Valdez-Scantling are both excellent options for Green Bay. I think both of those guys are plug and play, kind of wide receiver 4s if you want to play them. I like Jacoby Myers as well against Indy. Their secondary has really been susceptible this year, and Jacoby Myers just play a lot in the slot. But I do like Jacoby Myers as kind of that wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. It does sound like Adam Thielen's going to return, so I think I would bump down KJ Osborne a little bit. We'll have to see what information we get on that, see if he's able to return to practice on Thursday and Friday. But they said he's made really positive progress, and he is possibly looking to play. Rashad Bateman, I don't know if I can trust him after the 1 week of production where he just disappeared and all of a sudden bounced back in a spot against Green Bay. But regardless, they're going to have to throw the ball. So Rashad Bateman could make some sense here for people that are a little bit desperate. And then other than that, those are kind of the guys that I was that really want to hit on really quickly. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I appreciate everybody checking out the show. Like I said, hit that like and subscribe button for future content. We hope to see you guys Friday night for our live stream. We go live every Friday around 9 p.m. Central or 10 p.m. Eastern for all you Eastern Coast people. Regardless of that, I appreciate everybody checking out the video. Let's win a championship this week. It is fantasy playoffs. There is no next week. We are very dangerous people. We're going to win. Let's go.